Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, I did not wake up this morning thinking I was going to have content for a YouTube video. We're waiting on the snow. It should be here by midnight tonight with this Arctic blast that's coming from the north. And so I had no idea I was going to have content. But as it turns out, I do have content, and I wanted to share that with you. This is a continuation of my dealers snafuing the order on this tractor. When they delivered it to me, y'all have seen how they delivered it to me. Y'all saw the box and the 3-point hitch that I just posted a video on. That's exactly how they gave it to me. Exactly how they gave it to me, and just handed it over to me when I went and chased them down for it. And I said, hey, where's my 3-point hitch? That's how they gave it to me. Can you believe it? Naturally, of course, it had missing parts. They did step up to the plate. They are ordering those missing parts. None of the parts were a big deal. You know, the hook for the top link, and the clips that go onto the top, so there is no pin that flips over. They're little clips that go into the top, and they gave those to me, and I have them in my toolbox over here on the John Deere. That's not the point. You all remember from the summertime, I was missing this rod right here when I was trying to connect the push blade for the very first time. Found out I didn't have that rod right there, and they had to go hunt one down for me then. They told me they would order me one, and I was like, listen, I already bought the Quik-Hitch, I bought the snow blower, I bought the push blade. That rod is here somewhere in your shop, and I need it right now because I'm doing a job backfilling my trench, filling my trench back in. And he went back there and he found one and he gave it to me. Ordering one. I should have got it to begin with. And here we are now with another dealer snafu. And I want to give a shout out to, let me pull him up now. I want to give a shout out to John Cruz. 6 days ago, he said this: I don't think you're supposed to swivel the hitch when using the blower. And I kind of questioned that when I hooked up the blower for the very first time, if you recall. Can't really tell from the video, but it looks like you are missing the pin that locks it in the straight ahead position. It's usually stored in another hole right on the hitch when using the blade. And he went on, and it ends up he was right. And then there was another fella, user PDANI4EX4T. That's quite a username right there. But he goes on to say the angle cylinder is not hooked up for the snow blower hookup. The chute rotates the hose connecting where you connect the hitch angle cylinder is mentioned by John's with a Z, Cars with a Z. You're missing or haven't located the angle locking pin to lock the front hitch in the straight position. Wish I could attach a picture to show you. Well, as it turns out, John Cars did attach a video that showed a close-up of this large pin that this fellow was pulling out because he was putting on the hydraulic angle kit, and he had to remove that large pin so he could install his hydraulic angling kit that he had bought. And then we had another fella, Matthew. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce your last name, but it ends in 5279. He said, thanks, Kevin. When using the blower only, there is a large pin that can be put into the hydraulic hitch to prevent the blower from turning. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that stepped up and pointed out that, yes, I was in fact missing additional parts. So I looked into it. I replied back to y'all, and I looked into it as I said that I would, and this is what I came up with. So here we have the push blade. Yeah, we have the 54 and 60-inch push blade, and on page 11, it clearly, let's see if I can show the camera. It clearly shows that pin, and it's on page 11, and it says, insert the lockout pin assembly A into the rear hole B on the front hitch and fasten with the spring locking pin. In other words, take it out of the lock position, put it in the unlock position, and put it into the storage hole. So there we are with that. And then when we get to the snow blower, this is the 54-inch Quik-Hitch snow blower right there. Insert locking pin assembly A into the front hole on the hitch and fasten with the spring locking pin. There we have it, right there. Can you all see that? So the manual says that I'm supposed to have that pin. Both manuals say I'm supposed to have that lockout pin. It's just part of the Quik-Hitch assembly. So I go to my dealer, and they close their doors on the 18th of December and won't open up again till the day after Christmas. So I could not get the pin. So I went to Hartville Hardware, and they have a large John Deere dealership as well. And there was an old fellow there that helped me out with this. Because the manual doesn't specify what the size of the pin is. Just to give you all a heads up, he pulled up the mechanical drawing from John Deere of the Quik-Hitch. It does not show the pin that goes into those holes. It does not. I looked at it as well. It's simply not there. It shows every other piece and part to it, but that pin is omitted on the mechanical drawing from John Deere. But he saw the video that John Cruz sent me, and he goes, yeah, I understand there's a pin, but I can't get the part number, so I can't look up the pin without the part number, and it's not on the mechanical drawing. So what we did was we went down to the first floor. They had a Quik-Hitch already assembled, you know, in the box there, brand new, and we found the hole, saw the hole, and we didn't know if it was a 1-inch or if it's a 3/4 inch hole. And so we took both size pins down there. It turns out it's a 3/4 inch pin, and we had a great big long one, and obviously it was too long. So then we measured the length of it, and the length of it needs to be about 4 1/4 inches to the taper, and then from the taper another 1/4 inch or so. So we have a 4 1/2 inch long, 3/4 inch pin that we bought aftermarket that he helped me find. He was very eager to help me, and it cost me all of a whopping $6. Well, that's $6 I should have never had to spend had my dealer done their job and actually surveyed the parts before delivering it to me. And this is what we got. So we got this trailer hitch pin right here, and it has a cotter pin that goes in there also, but this goes directly into that hole and locks it out from angling left and right. Now we talked a little bit about the hydraulics, and John Cruz and the others were talking about the hydraulics. Don't hook up the hydraulics. And I didn't particularly care for not having the hydraulics hooked up because I don't want an open line, you know, in the winter and the ice and the snow, and I'm running back and forth, and I may be switching between the blade and the snow blower. So I talked to the parts guy and the tech pertaining to that, and he said, no, you don't have to disconnect your hydraulic lines. The pin is what keeps it from turning left to right. And he gave the example when you have your angle kit on and you're angling the blade to the far left, it hits a stopping point and it automatically stops and it cannot go any further. It's a stop block, and when you angle it all the way to the right, it goes to a certain point, it stops, and it cannot go any further. He said, it's not necessary to disconnect your hydraulic. He says, when you put the pin in, that's just a new stop block. It keeps it from going either to the left or the right, but you don't need to disconnect your hydraulic hose to do that. It just prevents it from turning left or right should you accidentally hit your hydraulic handle up here and, you know, go left or right with it. It just keeps it from doing that. He says all you need to do is insert the pin, and you can leave your chute rotation hooked up to the third function, and that's perfectly fine long as you have the pin in. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I want to thank every single person for helping me determine that I had yet another missing part. And incidentally, I found that I had even another missing part due to y'all calling into question the pin. I have my hydraulic hoses. I don't know if you can see here. Let me take this off the stand. Hold on. All right, are y'all with me? I have another missing part. If you look right here, so I have the hose bracket. It keeps the hoses together and keeps them off the ground. But in the front, I'm supposed to have, I don't know if y'all can see that, I'm supposed to have another bracket to hold these hoses right here in the front. But instead I have the hoses running through the grill guard, and then I have a Carhartt extension cord clamp. Can you all see that? Right there. I have an extension cord clamp keeping it together. Yeah, and that's the wrong answer. And I suspected that I was missing that front part, but I never said anything. But when he took me, the guy at Hartville took me down and we were looking in the box at the Quik-Hitch, lo and behold, a brand new box with a brand new Quik-Hitch, that bracket that holds the hydraulic hoses was laying right there in the box. Clear as day, and that's another part that I don't have. And my John Deere dealer is not even open, so I can't even address the issue with them. So, right now, I have the snowblower on, or not the snowblower, but I have the push blade on. We're expecting between 3 and 5 inches, but we're right on the hairy edge of getting the heavier stuff that's slightly north of us heading up towards Cleveland area. We're right on that hairy edge where we might end up with more than 3 to 5 inches. So I've got the push blade on now, but I may end up having to put the snow blower on, which is fine with me. So I'm going to wax this. I'm going to spray some wax on this push blade, and we're set. And so thank you all for helping me. I really, really do appreciate that. Hopefully the snow will be fun to play into tomorrow and the next day. We'll see you then.